There is a frequency that changes everything. It does not come from outside. It does not require rituals, gurus, or hidden secrets. It is already inside you, waiting to be activated with a single word. This word has been passed down silently for generations. They called it the sound of 0 point, and when you sing it in the right way with the right emotion, your vibration immediately realigns. This is not theory, it is pure vibrational practice. Today you will learn exactly how to do it, but not casually, because before you activate this code, you must understand why your reality has not changed yet, despite all your spiritual efforts. Once you have clarified this, you will be ready to release the sound that changes your frequency and will never leave you in the same place again. Stay with me until the end, because what you will sing is not just a sound, it is a turning point. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, vibration, and harmony. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to hear is not a theory. It is a revelation already spoken by the wise, hidden by the systems, and now confirmed by science itself. If these words resonate with you like ancient truths finally coming home, like right now, it will be our secret code, your way of telling me, yes, I feel like this is bigger than me. And if you want to enter the golden circle of those who don't just watch but act, subscribe to the premium channel. It's not just a subscription, it's an alliance. Here you don't consume content, you transform. And together, let's keep this flame of awakening alive. It's your turn now. Everything is vibration. Yes, everything. From the structure of atoms to the flow of thoughts, from the physical body to the subtlest emotion. Nothing is still. Everything pulsates. Everything vibrates in a constant state of energetic movement. The ancient Egyptians knew this. To them, matter was just a condensed form of energy that vibrated at a specific frequency. The alchemists of the Middle Ages spoke of it as transmutation, turning the lead of ignorance into the gold of consciousness. It wasn't just a metaphor, it was a code, a cipher. Vibration alters reality. Centuries later, names like Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein said the same thing in different words. If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But what no one has told you clearly is how this affects you right now, in this moment. We are not talking about distant concepts, but about who you are, what you emanate, what you create. You are not a body with a vibration. You are vibration itself in human form. And the most intriguing part is that your vibration is constantly changing, even when you don't realize it. All it takes is one bad memory to lower your frequency, just one bad news story, an automatic thought of scarcity, a comment that triggers an old wound. Your station changes like a modified radio frequency without you knowing it. It is subtle, but profoundly real. And because it is invisible, many underestimate it. But the invisible is what sustains the visible. The way you see the world, the way people treat you, the opportunities that appear or disappear, everything responds to the frequency you emit. Not because the universe is punitive or selective, but because it is reactive. It reflects. And this vibration is not dependent on what you say you want, but on what you truly feel, think, and experience in your internal field. There is no point in wishing for peace if you vibrate with anxiety. There is no point in seeking abundance if your body vibrates with the fear of loss. Life does not respond to your superficial desire. It responds to what you vibrationally are in silence, behind the scenes of your consciousness. This is why two people can live the exact same situation but get completely different results. One walks into a room and everything flows. Another walks into the same room and everything stops. What changes? The frequency. Because vibration does not lie. It speaks before the speech. It guides before the thought. It emanates before any rational choice. And here is one of the most overlooked secrets. Your vibration is not shaped by big events. It is shaped by your micro habits, by the conversations you have, by how you treat yourself internally, by the subtle repetition of thoughts you don't even notice. Every word you speak has an energetic tone. Every emotion you feed vibrates in a specific field. Every daily choice contributes to the vibrational field you build. You are constantly creating a field around you, a field that precedes you, that arrives before your physical presence. It is like an energetic signature that the universe recognizes. And this field attracts. Similar vibrations connect. It is not punishment, it is resonance. So if your life seems stuck, if the same patterns repeat themselves, maybe the problem is not in what you do, but in what you vibrate while you do it. And in the next part, you will discover the most common mistake that lowers your vibration even when you think you are doing everything right. The invisible error that keeps you stuck in the low frequencies is subtle, almost imperceptible, but incredibly powerful. That's why so many people who study spirituality, read about energy, and repeat affirmations every day still feel stuck in the same place. Because there is a hidden error, an energetic blind spot that most never notice. The emotional field does not lie. You can repeat 1,000 times, I am light, I am prosperous, I am love. But if you vibrate fear, lack, or insecurity inside you, that's what the universe will perceive. Because it is not the word that guides, but the emotion that accompanies it. True vibration is not in what you say, but in what you feel when you say it. It changes everything. It's like painting a wall with gold paint and expecting the inside of the house to change. On the outside, it looks beautiful. On the inside, it stays dark. That's how vibration works. If you use beautiful words to mask dense feelings, your energy continues to vibrate at the frequency that has not been purified. And that's because we've been taught to use our minds to control emotion. We create affirmations as if we're trying to convince the universe, but deep down we're trying to convince ourselves of something we don't really feel. And the universe doesn't respond to what you want to believe. It responds to who you are energetically. You say you are abundant, but your body vibrates worry. You say you are love, but you still hold anger over unresolved things. You try to raise your vibration through your mind, but your body is tense, blocked, closed, and that is what makes everything collapse. This is the mistake that traps thousands of sincere seekers. People who try, make an effort, do everything correctly, but do not understand why they are still blocked. Because until the internal emotion is transformed, the frequency does not rise. It continues to go round in circles in the same pattern as always. And the more you try to force a high state, the more you create friction with what you truly feel, generating spiritual frustration, a sense of doing everything and getting nowhere. Because true vibration only happens when the mind and heart are in coherence. And here's something that almost no one tells you. It's not enough to think differently. You have to feel differently, and feeling requires presence, surrender, inner listening. It requires stopping controlling and starting to allow. Feeling goes deeper than repeating. Feeling truly transforms. But for that, you have to access the emotional field honestly. Look at what hurts, what has been hidden, what the mind tries to ignore but continues to vibrate in the background day after day, shaping your entire reality. This is where many people give up because facing what you feel is scary. It touches old layers, it brings up forgotten wounds. But that is where freedom lies, because the denied emotion continues to drive your vibration without you knowing it. Emotion that is felt, welcomed, released becomes power, and there is a way to do this. A practice passed down orally through secret spiritual lineages. A technique that works exactly where the vibration is born, in the energy body, where emotion and breath meet. So there is an ancient technique that reverses this in minutes, and it has been secretly passed down by initiates. We will reveal the basics in the next part. A simple practice but forgotten by much of the modern world. Conscious breathing combined with elevated emotion. We are not talking about deep breathing to calm down, but something infinitely deeper. An ancient spiritual technology used by Sufis, yogis, and initiates in the temples of Thoth. A silent internal process capable of transforming your vibration in minutes. Breathing itself is already a portal, But when you combine breathing with a true elevated emotion, something changes in your structure, because breathing is the bridge between body and soul. It is always there, but you rarely notice it. When you start breathing with intention, you activate dormant energy centers, and that is when the miracle begins. Now imagine that you are breathing deeply, but together with the air, you visualize a golden light entering your chest, a light that brings peace, gratitude, love. You are not just breathing, you are calling a vibration into your field. And when you do it with abandon, with true feeling, with presence, your vibration begins to reorganize. Literally, science is starting to figure this out. Neuroscience and physiology studies show that your breathing pattern directly affects your nervous system, heart rate, hormones, and even your perception of reality. Breathing slowly, deeply, and with intention triggers cardiac coherence, a state where your body, heart, and brain resonate. But what the ancients knew, and what we are rediscovering, is that when you add real emotion to your breathing, you don't just relax, you reprogram your frequency. And it doesn't take much, 3, 5, 10 minutes a day, as much time as you can, as long as it's done truthfully, with abandon, not as a fix-it technique, but as a sacred ritual of reconnecting with your vibrational essence. You breathe in love. You feel the love in your chest. You let it grow, expand, vibrate throughout your body. And when you exhale, you release everything that no longer resonates with that vibration. Fear, tension, anger, judgment, everything begins to dissolve in the silence of your presence. This is not an exercise, it is a code, a tool left by ancient civilizations who knew that true power is not in great external ceremonies, but in the ability to move energy within oneself. And moving energy is changing vibration. Changing vibration is changing reality. You don't need objects, beliefs, or complicated techniques, just presence, breath, and true emotion. But what comes next goes beyond breathing. It involves something that organizes even matter, and you already carry it inside you. The sound that aligns matter and spirit. Maybe you've never thought about it, but sound is an invisible architecture that builds, destroys, activates, or paralyzes. And this is not theory, it is direct observation. The science of cymatics has shown through real images how different sound frequencies organize particles into geometric patterns. A simple tone can form perfect mandalas in sand, dust, or water. Now imagine what the same sound can do to your energy field, infinitely more sensitive and complex than any physical experiment. You are not just skin and bones, you are layered vibration. All your layers react to sound. Your body, your organs, your emotions, your energy centers, your subtle field. Everything vibrates in response to the frequencies that enter not only through your ears but also through your skin, bones, and the air around you. That is why certain music makes you cry, even without lyrics. Why certain ancestral chants make your heart beat or light up your skin. Because sound does not need to be understood by the mind, it is felt directly by the soul. It speaks to that which is beyond words. Ancient civilizations knew this and used this power with reverence. In Egypt, in the temples of Thoth, certain sounds were chanted to activate ancestral memory. Among Tibetan monks, mantras were used to access higher states of consciousness. Among indigenous peoples, shamanic chants guided rituals of healing and spiritual expansion. And even today, in cultures that preserve this knowledge, sound is treated for what it is, a vehicle for vibrational transformation. But we are not talking about just any sound. We are talking about sounds that carry a pure and harmonic intentional frequency, sounds like Om or Hu. They are not just letters, they are vibrational codes, keys that open internal portals, sounds that, when vocalized with presence, purify, unlock, awaken. These sounds act directly on the chakras. They vibrate in the most subtle layers of the soul. They awaken dormant centers of being. But there is something even deeper, something that is not found in books or popular audios. A specific vibrational sequence guarded by initiatory traditions that not only activates the energy centers but accesses the highest point of human vibration. And this sequence is not just made of unrelated sounds. It requires intention, rhythm, breathing. It connects emotion, body, and spirit in a single vibration. When you chant this sequence with awareness, you reorganize the internal chaos. It is as if your cells remember who you are, as if your soul recognizes the way back to the source. This sequence vibrates at a frequency that goes beyond personal fields. It touches the collective field, and in doing so, it not only elevates you, it elevates the space around you. That is why it has always been taught in narrow circles, because a person who vibrates in this state becomes a transmitter, a catalyst for change. And that's where Thoth's secret comes in, a sound practice that has been protected for centuries. And you will learn it because they knew that sound combined with emotion and intention not only vibrates, but creates. And when we talk about creating reality, it's not a poetic metaphor, it's literal. Your body, composed mostly of water, responds directly to the vibration of the words you speak. And it not only responds, but it shapes. Researcher Masaru Emoto has demonstrated with unequivocal images what many spiritual masters have known for centuries. The structure of water changes depending on the words and intentions it receives. Words of love, gratitude, forgiveness generate harmonious, beautiful, symmetrical forms. Words of hate, anger, or contempt generate chaos, distortion, fragmentation. Now think, if water reacts like this to a single word, imagine what happens inside you, where everything pulses, vibrates, and flows based on sounds and emotions. Every day you are nourished by what you say. You are strengthened or weakened by the way you speak to yourself. And the most powerful part is that the tone you use when you say something often vibrates stronger than the words themselves. It is not just what you say, it is how you say it. It is what you feel when you say it. It is the truth that carries the word from your mouth. And when instead of just talking you sing, something deeper happens. Singing is not just producing notes. Singing is releasing sound with your whole body. It is vibrating from your core. It is activating the solar plexus, the heart, the throat. Singing with emotional intention is like lighting a fire inside the soul. And when that singing carries sacred vibrational words, the frequency rises so intensely that the field around you is immediately transformed. And it is not just any singing, it is not random music. We are talking about specific words, sounds with archetypal charge, ancient codes, often short, but which carry a vibration that spans the centuries. When sung with presence and true feeling, these words awaken the energetic body, purify the subtle channels, align the emotional field, and create a sort of natural shield against dense vibrations. This is the secret passed down among priests, healers, initiates, and it does not depend on religion, culture, or language because the sound is universal. The vibration transcends time, space, doctrines. It does not need to be understood mentally. It just needs to be felt, sung, embodied. That's why when you sing with real emotion words like ram, who, or ah, you are not just echoing a sound. You are activating a vibrational memory. You are emitting an energetic command that reorganizes your internal field. It is a kind of sonic alchemy. The word combined with sound and emotion becomes medicine. And the most incredible part is that this practice is accessible. It is within you. Your voice is the most powerful instrument you have. You don't need anything external to start, just intention and presence. But like any sacred technique, there is a sensitive point that must be observed, something subtle that can completely block this power if not resolved. But before that, there is a subtle obstacle that must be released. Without it, no technique can be sustained. Anchoring, how to sustain a high frequency. You can sing the right sounds, use the right words, breathe with intention, meditate with concentration. But if there is still hidden, silent, unresolved guilt inside you, your vibration will continue to fluctuate. Guilt is like an invisible anchor. It holds you back, it drags you down, it keeps you stuck. And the worst part is that it doesn't scream. It whispers. It hides in the subtext of your thoughts. in the reactions you don't understand, in the decisions you sabotage without realizing it. Guilt doesn't come from the present. It's an accumulation, an echo of the past, of real or imagined mistakes, of unfulfilled expectations, of choices you now condemn, of versions of yourself you reject. And as long as those parts remain there, suffocated, buried, your energy doesn't stabilize because a part of you still believes you don't deserve to vibrate high. This is the part that many ignore. It is what Thoth himself taught silently through symbols. True forgiveness is the greatest form of vibrational transmutation, but not that superficial, social, automatic forgiveness. It is not about looking outside, it is about looking inside. Forgiving others still keeps your focus outside, but when you forgive yourself, something breaks and something is reborn. Forgiving yourself is not forgetting. It is not erasing the past. It is welcoming who you were with compassion. It is recognizing that in that moment, with that level of awareness, you did what you knew how to do. And now you know more. Now you feel more. Now you can release that version that was trapped in time. When you forgive yourself, your vibration is freed. Your energy field expands. The flow returns, and what seemed blocked begins to respond differently. This release creates space. And that space is essential because a high vibration needs space to sustain itself. It is like light. It does not settle in narrow corners filled with shame or self-judgment. It needs openness, softness, vibrational honesty, and all of this begins with inner forgiveness. And it is precisely from this release that vibrational anchoring becomes possible, because it is not enough to reach a high state for a few minutes. True change happens when that state is maintained even while life happens around you, when the world is in chaos and you remain whole. A high vibration does not mean being happy all the time or living in constant euphoria, avoiding what is heavy. It means coherence, alignment between what you feel, think, say, and do. When that alignment exists, the vibration does not need to be forced. It simply maintains itself. And this has a name: vibrational coherence. The HeartMath Institute has scientifically proven that when your heart, brain, and body are in sync, your electromagnetic field expands harmoniously. This isn't mysticism, it's quantum physiology. In this state of coherence, your nervous system self-regulates, your intuition sharpens, your perception changes, and you begin to interact with the field around you in magnetic and powerful ways. But how do you maintain that state amidst the challenges of routine and real-world pressures? The answer lies in simple yet profoundly transformative pillars. The first is radical presence, being completely in the present, not partially, not with one part in the past and another projected into the future. Presence is when you engage in the present moment with your whole being, when you breathe and feel the now without trying to escape. The second is conscious speech. Everything you say has a vibrational weight. Speaking with intention is like encoding your reality in real time. You can vibrate love even by saying no. You can vibrate firmness without anger. You can vibrate light in your communication. The third is inner silence, the space between thoughts, the pause between noises. It's where the mind stops reacting and consciousness begins to lead. And the more you inhabit that space, the more stable your vibration becomes. The fourth is reconnecting with nature, walking barefoot on the earth, touching the trees, breathing fresh air, listening to the sound of rivers. These are not just relaxing activities, they are vibrational resets. The earth vibrates at a frequency that resonates with your heart. When you align with it, you remember who you are. But there is a fifth element hidden, forgotten even by seekers, and it is within you right now. The final technique, the sacred chant of the 0 point. This fifth element is not beyond your reach. In fact, it is the most accessible of all because it lives within you. But few notice it. It is subtle, silent, invisible, yet it is the foundation of all creation. Thoth called it the 0 point, a space between what you feel and what you do. between what you think and what you manifest. It is the interval, the silence between notes, the pause between cycles, the absolute stillness. Zero point is not a physical place. It is a state of pure presence, a field where everything dissolves: name, form, effort, control. When you enter this state, reality around you does not have to stop, but something inside you simply ceases. It is as if time freezes, as if the mind loses its grip, and for a moment only pure consciousness remains. And in that space, there is no past or future, no expectation or attachment. There is only you in the purest vibrational essence. This is the point of origin where all creation begins, where possibilities have not yet condensed, where energy has not yet been shaped by thought, emotion, or language. It is the field where everything is potential and nothing is fixed, and that is where true power is revealed. Accessing this state does not require strenuous practice. It requires presence. The mind will try to resist. It will want to do, to understand, to control. But the zero point is not reached by effort. It is revealed when you surrender, when you stop trying to vibrate high and simply allow the vibration to be. It happens in the absolute now. You can reach this state through breathing, silence, a simple gesture of surrender. Sometimes it is revealed in the instant between one thought and another, in a moment when you feel your heartbeat and realize that everything is okay. Even if nothing has changed on the outside, something changes inside, a deep, serene, constant calm. This state is not common, but it is not distant either. It is available. It always has been. You just have not been taught how to access it. And that is why now is the time. The time to activate the final technique, the one that not only raises your vibration, but anchors it at the highest level of all. The one that Thoth has been silently preserving, waiting for this moment. This technique is not complex, but it requires something that few are willing to offer: inner truth. For the sound that activates it cannot be sung from the surface. It must arise from the center, from the point where emotion, body, and spirit meet. You don't speak, you don't sing like a song, you breathe, you become silent. And in the center of your chest, when everything inside you is quiet, you allow the vibration to begin. It's just one word, but it only works when you feel it, when it comes from within, when it is guided by the purest intention in you. It doesn't come from the mind, it comes from your essence. It might sound like a subtle tone, like a vibration echoing in your ribs, like a gentle tremor going up your spine. You vocalize it slowly, with presence, with truth, and then everything reorganizes. This practice accesses the original frequency of your soul, the one that existed before the traumas, before the masks, before the layers. It is like tuning your being to what has always been deep inside but has been forgotten. When done consistently, this technique doesn't just change your temporary state, it creates stability. Again, and there comes a point where you no longer have to try to vibrate high, because you yourself become the high vibration. Your presence begins to emit a constant frequency, one that affects the field around you. It no longer matters what people say, what they do, what is happening out there. Your vibration stops being reactive, it becomes a reference. And when that happens, reality responds. People start to sense something different in you. Opportunities that seemed impossible start to appear. Difficult decisions become clearer. Physical symptoms disappear. Intuition blossoms. Synchronicities intensify. Everything changes. Now that you have received this code, what you do with it will not only change your life, it will change the entire field around you. The new frequency has already been activated. The universe is listening. If you have felt even for a moment that subtle vibration, that recognition between the lines, click like, leave a comment with a seed word. Write it now without thinking too much. It will be your energetic seal. And subscribe if you haven't already, because this space is not mine, it's ours. And every action you take here is a pebble in the water. The wave it creates reaches far. I wish you to walk with your feet on the ground and your heart in the stars until the boundaries between the two vanish. See you soon.